Hi, this is Deborah Sable Thornbrew, and in this video I'm going to show you how to insert a chart into a PowerPoint 2013 slide. First, we need to create a slide where we want to put the chart. So on the Home ribbon in the upper left area of the screen, you can click New Slide and then choose a slide that has the word Content in its title. So it could be Title and Content, or To Content, or Content with Caption, etc. So if I'm just going to choose Title and Content, it's the content you want because that puts in these little icon shortcuts that allow you to very quickly and easily insert different graphic items like tables, charts, smart art, videos, and so forth. So if I want to insert a chart, I can insert it from here, or I can go up to the ribbon area in the upper left corner and click Insert, and then in the Illustrations group I can choose the Chart Insert button right here. So I'm going to go ahead and click Insert Chart, and when you hover your mouse over the selected preview here, it magnifies it, lets you see what it's going to look like. You may wonder why these colors are this way in particular, and it's only because the color choices that you see here are set based on what design theme or style had been applied to the slideshow. So let me click and drag this out of the way a little bit. You can see what some of the colors are in this theme. They're sort of browns and golds and oranges, and so that's also the color theme that's applied to that will be applied to the chart to make it look good in this particular slideshow. On the left side of this Insert Chart window, you can scroll down, or not scroll, but just roll your mouse down and pick out the type of chart that you want to insert. Column, line, pie, bar, and so on. I'm going to choose a pie chart, and then once I choose that, I can come up here to the top and apply the type of chart I want, what kind of look I want it to have. So I'm going to choose a 3D look to it, and again I can hover over the preview to see what it will look like. These choices that are made, the chart title and the legend at the bottom here, are just ways to get started. You don't have to accept that. You can always change it, which we will be doing some of that. So once you figure out what kind of chart you want, then you click OK down here in the lower right, and the chart is inserted. And also at the same time, a little window, this window I'm moving around, is a separate software program called Excel, which is a spreadsheet software program, part of Microsoft Office Suite. And the reason why it's here is because when you insert a chart, the way that Microsoft lets you manipulate the data in the chart is it's set up in an Excel spreadsheet like this one. And this Excel spreadsheet for the chart information is linked automatically to this slide. So any changes I make here in the data area of the slide, of the chart rather, will be reflected here automatically. For example, if you look at the chart here, the title here says Sales. So if I want to change that, I can do that here. I can do it here in the chart in the slide as well, but it's usually better to do it in the Excel spreadsheet. So I'm going to click into the little cell here that has the title in it, Sales, and I can just start typing and it will automatically replace the word sales with whatever I type. So once I finish typing, I press my Enter key and it enters it here, and it also changed it here on the slide. I can also go into the data area of the Excel spreadsheet and make changes to other parts of the chart. For example, notice that the first quarter piece is this large brown section. It's bigger than all the rest of the pieces of the pie, and that's because the data up here is larger for the first quarter than any other of the other quarters. So if I click into the 8.2 and change that to a different size, maybe 4.5, and then press Enter, notice now that my pie chart has changed according to that. So I'm going to go through and make changes to all 4 of these quarters. In the second quarter, I'm going to make it a larger one, 7.0. In the third quarter, I'll make that 3.6, press enter to lock it in, and in the fourth quarter, click in there and make it perhaps 2.4 and lock that in. And so now my chart, my pie chart, reflects the changes that I made in the data on the spreadsheet. So now if I wanted to, I can close this spreadsheet, click X right up here, and if I wanted to bring that spreadsheet back and make changes in it again, I can go over here to the Chart Tools area and click under the Design tab, click Edit Data. And when I do that, it brings up the Excel spreadsheet once again. I'm going to close that, and I want you to notice something too. Notice that there's a white border line around this pie chart, and it has little square buttons. Those are called resizing handles, and when I click and drag those, it changes the size of the chart in the slide. Notice that when this border line is displayed, then you can see and use the chart tools up here. These are called contextual ribbons or tools, and they only show up here when you have selected the item. So if I click away from the chart, let's say I click up here in the title area, those chart tools disappear. But if I click back on the chart again, there they are again. The design and the format tabs come back, and it's all related to how the chart's going to look. I can come up here to the chart styles area and click the drop down and choose something that maybe has a little more oomph to it if I wanted to do that. Choose that. Another thing you can do as well, when the chart is selected like this, you can click and drag one of the pieces out away from the center, and that is called exploding the pie or moving a pie piece away. You can do that with the individual pieces if you want. I'm going to click my undo button up here in the left and put those back. And you can also change colors, at least to a certain extent. If you wanted to change the colors, first of all, of course, you have to select the pie area and make sure it's selected, and then click change colors over here. And you can go in and change these horizontal bars with all the square colors are different sets of colors. So if I choose this second one, it automatically changes the colors across the whole chart. And as I hover over each row, you'll see the different changes that will appear. Over here on there are of course other buttons and menus and choices you can do with the chart here, and I encourage you to play with it and kind of get used to what some of these buttons can do. If you go back up here to the Chart Tools area and click the Format tab, that gives you tools that have more of an effect on how things look, how the shape or the pie actually looks. And when you click on it, when you click on the different parts of this area here, the different tools become activated and you can make different choices about it. The fills, for example, if you wanted to change the background color, you could do that, and so forth. There's a lot of different ways that you can work with pies or any kind of chart in your slide. Let me just do one more thing. I'm going to change the type of the slide, or rather the type of the chart. So I'm going to go back to the design and go over here on the far right hand side. It lets you change the chart type. So if I click that, it brings the chart type back, and I can choose something different, such as a column chart. And if I do that, I can pick out maybe one of the 3D ones, then click OK, and there my chart has changed to a whole different style. Always remember to save your work before you move away from it. Always click the Save button when you're ready to do that. And that's how you can insert and format your charts.